So has there been a big flooding issue?
Yeah, it seems like it because they said they got to board them up.
Okay.
Is that Fruit Loops and what is that? Crack?
Fruit Loops.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Sita Dambuya. I help commercial real estate investors acquire properties and source capital to fund their development projects. So in this video, I'm doing something a little different. Usually it's more educational content, but in this video, different type of education. We're doing a walkthrough. So this is a property that we were looking to acquire a couple years back. It's a pretty large property in Metro Atlanta, over 300 units, and it's in pretty rough shape. We were looking to do a value add, renovation on it, inject a lot of capital to renovate units, help turn the tenant base around, and just overall improve the property. It's in pretty rough shape, but we thought that there was some potential, and it was off market with a lot of distress, so there was a lot of opportunity to increase the value. So this was early on. This was before we never got into like full due diligence or anything. Never got under contract, but just did a quick walkthrough to check out some of the units. All right, let's get to it. All right, so when you're doing the unit walkthrough, you're looking to acquire a deal, you want to see what the renovated units look like. So you can see here they got carpet in the room, vinyl plank flooring throughout. The rooms look pretty spacious. That's a good thing. Very standard wall color. In this unit, you look at the closet. The closet is spacious as well. That's a good thing because this is what tenants are going to look at. The biggest thing with these properties, if you're doing a value add, it's all about the premiums. So you can see they got like a what is that, granite countertop, um, plank in the bathroom, plank flooring, nice countertops. So it's all important because this is what what you're competing against, or other properties are competing against. You want to make sure your property compares. You see here they got nice appliances, dishwasher, the cabinets are upgraded, black appliances. So it's an overall good looking unit. Now you want to go on a property tour, and you want to see, how many of the units look like this? How many have been renovated? Is this the standard for how they renovate units, or does it vary? You want to get a good feel, because if you're going to do a value add, you're going to have to go in and renovate um, a lot of units that aren't renovated. And you want to know kind of what that cost is going to look like. You also want to know how much are they spending on unit turns to get a unit updated, and what's the timeline like. So all of this you want to, verify when you're on the property. Is information that you'll ask in underwriting, but verify it.
So has there been a big flooding issue?
Yeah, it seems like it because they said they got to board them up.
Okay.
Is that Fruit Loops and what is that? Crack?
Okay, so this is obviously not crack, because crack is in the form of a rock, crack rock. This, if anything, is like cocaine, but more than likely it's actually like flour or something like that. But you get the idea. But anyway, this unit is just completely trashed, like terrible, destroyed. Like, is that a fridge? How does a fridge even get over there? They just got all this stuff, all this trash, all this junk. This was likely a tenant that skipped or was evicted. And this is one of the hidden costs of ownership that a lot of people don't think about. Um, this tenant probably was in here for months without paying, and in the meantime was just trashing the unit, or just making a mess by the time they got out. So it's going to cost the ownership in two different places. One, you lost all the money you didn't collect from rent. Two, you got to get it fixed, get all of this unit cleaned and fixed. And three, it's going to take some time, so you're not going to be able to rent it in the meantime. A lot of trash here.
Yeah, they hopping out the window as we walk around.
You said it's an animal living in here?
Cats. Yeah.
You need to pay rent. I see it. Yeah. Look at you. Look at you. Oh, you can't even make that. Oh.
Well, sure as hell proved me wrong. All right, quick mid-video check-in. If you're getting some value out of this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe for more content, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future. All right, so this is a unit that hasn't been turned yet, so you see it's a little dirty. But you can see it's not nearly as dirty or trash as the last unit. This more typical of what you'll see, especially like from a good resident, where most of the stuff they get out, there's gonna be some minor dirt, minor stuff you got to clean up. And that's perfectly fine. It's going to be a much easier turn. It looks like this unit was already renovated, so this is just a quick clean out, quick maybe punch list where you got to do a few punch items, and it's going to be an overall easier turn. Definitely what you want to see. Uh, while you're there, you want to ask questions, stuff like, do all of these units have flooring like this, or are there other units where it might have carpet? That's some of the questions we ask. And when you're walking it, you want to look at it from two different perspectives. You want to get a feel for what it's like living there, as a tenant, somebody who's going to be a prospect is going to be looking around at a unit like this. What are they thinking? And then you also want to think of it from an asset management perspective, like, what's going to be harder to repair? What are we going to have to change? What are all these different upgrades we're going to have to make? So you got to look at it from two different perspectives. This is a townhouse unit, so you see it's carpet through the stairs and upstairs. Sometimes you see weird stuff like this, like a closet. Why that door is so thin? I don't know who signed off on that decision. It's ridiculous. You can't even, like, it's a challenge trying to reach stuff in there, but probably not a big enough issue for us to try and change it or anything. But you just see weird things like that sometimes. Um, is when you're doing this and you're doing a walkthrough and you're talking, you're setting up the tour, you want to see every floor plan if possible. If they got one, twos, and threes, you want to see a one bed, a two bed, and three bed. And then you also want to see units that are both renovated and units that aren't renovated, like what the classic units look like. Because if you're doing a value add, you're going to have to turn the classic into a renovated unit. And during your research, you're doing due diligence, you may decide to go a different route from the renovation plan that they already have. You may want to add in backsplash because you can think you get more rents, or your different paint color, or just take something out because you think you won't recoup the cost. But these are all decisions that you got to make, and you want to be able to get some insight on this in your walkthrough. So this is like a walkthrough before putting the property under contract or submitting the offer. But during due diligence, when you have it in the contract, you're gonna do a full inspection with your team.
Yeah. It looked like it might have been like a glass table or something. It looked like some thin glass. Is this mold right here?
You said it was a lot of mold. Yeah, that's mold.
And this is a down unit. So there is some mold in here, heavy mold, as you see. So they likely had to take everything out so they can try and remediate the mold. So you see like the flooring in some places is pulled up. There's missing drywall in some places. You need paint everywhere. Like this unit is a mess. They broke it all the way down. And things like this are a real cash flow killer because it's gonna take a lot of money. First, you gotta take the money to take all this stuff out, which that is a cost. Then it's gonna cost a whole lot of money to put everything back in. You gotta put in new flooring, you gotta paint everything, you gotta put in the wall. You see some of the mold right there again. You gotta paint the walls, you gotta put in appliances, you gotta do everything to a down unit. So it becomes so expensive that a lot of times you're just gonna hold off on it as an operator until you have the capital preserved to just do it. And that means you're not getting cash flow that whole time from that unit.
You can't really see too much of the bird, man.
Oh, this is a tennis court.
Okay, so this is a burn unit. It looks like a squatter setup shop here, but this property had multiple fires and we never found out what the cause was, which is a huge red flag. But this unit, they took it down to the studs and it's gonna cost a grip to get it back online. Super expensive.
Do they know what exactly started the fire?
I gotta.
Yeah, he said
I'm gonna have to probably do more digging that don't include them, because I don't think they really like involved.
And lastly, be careful on these walks. Units like this have exposed wires, sometimes other hazards. If it's not safe, just leave it alone and come back later or something, but don't hurt yourself walking units. All right, and that's it, folks. All right, so tell me what you think. I know it's pretty rough property, but let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what ideas you have. You were going to increase value or acquire the property, and let me know if you want to see more content like this. I got a lot of footage from different property tours and walkthroughs, and I can tell you more about what I look at, what me and my partners look at when we're looking at deals and walking units. Till next time.